everyone. This is Joe from the Cup of Joe show. That's Superman, Clark Kent, joining us today, replacing Jeremy. He couldn't make it, he stubbed his toe. Alright, so we didn't see a movie last week because there just weren't any, there wasn't anything good that came out. We didn't want to see Deliver Us from Evil, Earth to Echo, or Tammy, so this week we're going to do something special. We've reached about the halfway point of the year. We're a little past it, but that's okay. We're going to do our top 5 movies so far this year. We're going to just start by giving both of our top 5s, and then we're just going to open it up for discussion between the both of us. And then you guys could tweet us live, but we only have like 1 follower. No, we have 2. It's the both of us. So I highly doubt that you will tweet into our live show. But
we haven't tweeted since like October
of
last year anyway.
That's true. So, but we're just going to hop right into it. All right, Jeremy, give us your top 5.
All right. Movies. Number 5 on my list, Edge of Tomorrow. Number 4, How to Train Your Dragon 2. Number 3, The Lego Movie. Number 2, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. And the number 1 movie, X-Men, Days of Future Past.
How do you follow that up, really? I don't know, but I'm going to try. My top 5 is at number 5 is How to Train Your Dragon 2. Number 4 is 22 Jump Street. Number 3, The Lego Movie. Number 2, Days of Future Past. And number 1 is Non-Stop with Liam Neeson. No, it's really Captain America, The Winter Soldier is the number 1 film. Now we're going to open it up to discussion. Our top 5s are pretty similar, but I mean, I feel like everyone's top 5 should be pretty similar. I can't see anyone liking any films more. I think there's between us. I think there are like 6 films total that we named. So with the only really difference being I have 22 Jump Street in here, and Jeremy has Edge of Tomorrow. So, okay, let's start with the top. Our first difference here. I put Captain America: The Winter Soldier. You put Days of Future Past. Why did you edge Days of Future Past over?
It was a very difficult decision. Those two are they're right about equals. It's really hard to give the edge to one or another, and I don't know, if we had done the show tomorrow, maybe I would have given it to The Winter Soldier, but today I'm feeling Days of Future Past. It was just, it was just an extremely well done movie. It's hard to merge, 2 large casts like that, bring it all together, give it some heart at the core, and juggle all that, and I thought it did extremely well.
No, I do totally agree with you. I do totally agree. X-Men: Days of Future Past was a great film and a franchise-saving film, actually.
Yes.
Building off First Class and the lackluster Wolverine, The Wolverine. I would put The Winter Soldier above Days of Future Past for, again, that's slightly, I think that those 2 films are clearly the top, well, and the Lego Movie, honestly. Yeah. They're all up there. But I would just give it to Captain America because it rivaled the Avengers. That was how good that film was. And, the Avengers came out, and it was fantastic. We all loved it, and, I didn't think a Marvel movie would ever again approach it. And then The Winter Soldier happened, and I just think it's absolutely incredible that a movie actually approached it. The hand-to-hand combat scenes in that movie were absolutely fantastic. The drama was great. just everything about it was fantastic. The addition of Anthony Mackie, Samuel Jackson being in it, Scarlett Johansson was fantastic. I mean, just everything about that movie was fantastic, and it's amazing to me that again, I keep reiterating this, but it was almost as good as the Avengers, and that's absolutely incredible, and that's why I give it the top spot. So now we kind of move into our number 3, the Lego Movie. We agreed on this one.
We did.
So what do you think? What do you think gets the Lego Movie there in the top 5?
Well, the Lego Movie was better than I expected it to be. It's just, it's well done. It's beautifully animated. It also has a lot of heart. And there was some thought that I had about the Lego Movie that I kind of lost, and I think it was a good one. But I guess we'll never find out.
Maybe you'll think of it.
Maybe.
All right, it was funny. It was funny, and it's so much fun. I bought it, and I've actually watched it like 3 times already. So I mean, it's just a lot of fun. It's so beautifully animated. So beautifully animated that you don't even know if it's stop motion or animation. Like it's that incredible that they animated it so well to make you think it was stop motion. That's why I asked you like last week, like, was that movie animated? Like, because I'm an idiot. But I mean that's how good it was. The voice acting was perfect. The people they got, it was just absolutely an incredible cast and a beautifully done film. Okay, your number 4 is How to Train Your Dragon 2. It is my number 5.
Okay.
So what pushed it above the other movies like, let's say, 22 Jump Street and Edge of Tomorrow? Because I think, all right, if there were a top 6,
Yeah.
would 22 Jump Street be your 6?
It would.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. What pushes it above those 2 films?
I guess, well, since my list is all about heart, 22 Jump Street also had a lot of heart. Much like the Lego Movie, it was beautifully animated.
You said 22 Jump Street had a lot of heart. I think you meant How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes, I
too.
did.
Okay, I just wanted
Yes,
to
I did.
put that out there. Okay.
Thank you.
Of course.
I did not notice.
That's okay. It happens.
Yes, it does. The characters and their development and everything was well done. I think that the overall story in How to Train Your Dragon 2 could have it left a little to be desired, but that's a minor complaint, and it was it was roughly on par with the first movie, I thought, and it was very good.
Very cool. Greatly animated. I love the dragons. I love the Hiccup and Toothless relationship. That is really the film for me. And it's so great. Toothless is awesome. So that's really why I love those films, and that's why I'd push it to the top 5. It is very emotional. I cried. Yep. I tried to hold it, but tear came like all the way down. Like it wouldn't stop. It wasn't here. It just. So it's very emotional. It's very well done. So it's definitely a movie that should be in the top 5. So moving on, you said Edge of Tomorrow. Tell me a little bit about Edge of Tomorrow.
Well, Edge of Tomorrow, with the previews and trailers and everything, didn't want to see it. Looked like another Oblivion, probably even worse. And then the reviews came out, and it's like, well, we gotta check this out. And then we did, and it was surprisingly good. I was wondering for a while, like, how they were gonna explain the whole, Groundhog Day loop concept. And they did, and it didn't make, like, a huge amount of success, but given how entertaining and well done the movie was, that's one of those things you're willing to just let slide. And, it was very well acted, had really cool action scenes, and, again, there was a surprising amount of heart. So that helped.
This is not the end.
One of the worst marketing campaigns for a movie like I've ever seen in my
Yes.
life. And then, like you said, we saw it and it was great. Again, here's another movie. A lot of fun. It was fun. Very funny.
Yeah, that's
Shockingly funny. But again, dramatic. Great action sequences. This is a great movie for Tom Cruise. I mean, in his long list of films that are pretty entertaining. So, great job, Edge of Tomorrow, but horrible, horrible marketing.
It's usually the opposite with movies.
Yeah, exactly. Usually the trailer and the marketing's great, and then it ends up being not so good. But
Yeah.
it was the exact opposite. All right, now we move on to 22 Jump Street. That ended up being my number 4, mainly because this may move down, but I haven't laughed that hard at a comedy probably since the first Hangover movie, which I don't even really like anymore because of its other films that have come out. But I probably haven't laughed that hard. Well, maybe actually the first 22 Jump Street, 21 Jump Street, I probably laughed that hard in Ted, but it's been a little while on a comedy, and it was just that funny for me. So that would push it into my top 5. But Edge of Tomorrow, I feel like it belongs there too. There's only 5 spots. So anything else to add on the top 5 films?
I think we're covered.
I think we covered it. I hope you enjoyed that segment, but we've got more. We've got more coming. The box office. Let's kick it.
All right, let's just go ahead and breeze right through this because last weekend was absolute garbage. It was the worst 4th of July weekend in 15 years. Horrible. Okay. I guess I'll start with number 6, which was Earth to Echo, and that made just $8.3 million and $13.6 since debuting on Wednesday. On the plus side, its budget was only $13 million, so that's not that bad. Okay, number 5 was How to Train Your Dragon 2, that dropped 32% to $9 million, has a total of 140. Well, it finally had like a good hold.
Yeah.
It's a little too late, but I mean, this will end somewhere like 160 to 170-ish, which is way off the first one and definitely disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Deliver Us from Evil. That made $9.7 million and $15.2 since its Wednesday opening. Clearly, this is no The Conjuring. I don't think anybody quite expected that, but yeah, what was the budget on this? $30 million. It's not going to lose that much money. Okay, number 3 was 22 Jump Street. That made $9.8 million. It was down 38%, and it's up to a little shy of 160. This continues to do pretty well. Should end up around 180, 185-ish. Our number 2 movie was Tammy. That made $21.6 million and $33.3 since opening on Wednesday. I'm kind of happy that this didn't do that well. It still did all right, and its budget is only $20 million, so it will be profitable. But this is, way down from Identity Thief and The Heat, and even the audience. I mean, critics hated it, but also audiences hate it too. So it's just a really awful movie, and hopefully it'll have really bad legs and finish with like 60 to 70 million. Our number 1 picture was Transformers: Age of Extinction. That was down 63% to 37 million. Has a total of, what are you laughing at?
I thought it went down 63%.
Oh.
It makes me laugh.
Okay. I'm really insecure. Anyway, so its total is 175.4 million. That decline is pretty much in line with like everything else this year. It's just It's just what happens. You open 90 to 100, and then you drop in the low 60s. So it's just what things are doing. It's running way behind the pace of every other Transformers movie. So we're definitely seeing that, franchise fatigue, and it seems to be getting like really, like mixed feelings in the fandom and in general audiences and everything. But at least people seem to agree that it is better than Revenge of the Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I would say Age of Extinction is heading toward like 230, 240 million. So it's going to be quite the battle between that, Days of Future Past, and Maleficent for the Summer Crown, which I hope so much is not Maleficent.
Yeah, that's it. And it's Transformers China. They're it's
Yeah,
killing it.
it really is.
So yeah, I mean, not really much to say. Earth to Echo, Deliver Us from Evil, and Tammy none of them really looked that interesting. And the one I find the most interesting actually made the least money in Earth to Echo. Okay, I think I just want to jump into the movies coming out this weekend which could literally just trump that entire segment that we just did about 15 minutes ago. This could definitely crack our top 5. It's getting great, fantastic reviews. We are talking about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I'm hearing nothing but great things. Not just good things, but great things about this film. So, I mean, we're going to see it. And, it's going to be so emotional. I'm probably going to cry again. But it's probably going to be a great film. So it's a little exciting.
Yeah, it was in the 90s at Rotten Tomatoes, and I kept expecting it to, drop, somewhere into the 80s, and it's still in the 90s off, well more than 100 reviews. So, I mean, at the same time, it feels like this movie has everything going for it. The first one was a surprise success. It was very well liked. This second one has really, really great reviews. It has a weekend all to itself. This summer has been crap, so you'd think people are, looking for something. But then you get the feeling that this might pull a Star Trek Into Darkness, which also had everything going for it, and then inexplicably just made less than the first one. And, things like that happen sometimes, and I just get a bad feeling that that's going to happen with Dot Poda. And I hope that that's not the case. I really want this to do well. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see if it is going to live up to what it can do. It pulled in 4.1 million on its Thursday night previews, which, in comparison to some other recent movies like Godzilla and Spider-Man and Days of Future Past, those all made about 9. That's not necessarily a bad thing because Dot Poda is the kind of movie that is more geared toward older audiences and doesn't have a comic book fan base that's going to rush out to see it first thing. So that's not terrible news, but based on that and everything else, it's probably pointing toward a debut in the mid-60s or so.
The question for me is, does it have the star power to pull people out?
Yeah.
Pull the casual
It's missing
fan
James
out?
Franco.
It is missing James Franco. I think that Jason Clarke is very good, but I just haven't seen him in a lead role yet. So, and I don't.
This could be his breakout.
It could be his breakout. Yep. Gary Oldman's always a good addition. So, I mean, we'll see. It's going to be a good movie. The question is, how good is it going to be, and will it get the word of mouth to really get up there with these other summer blockbusters? Well, blockbusters, because like the worst summer ever. So we'll see. Not in quality, but in box office. So We'll see how that goes. I hope you all see that film so you could join us next week and we could discuss together. Have a good week.